Hello everybody and welcome back to Letterbox Book Club. My name is Claire.
And I'm Mackenzie.
And today we are discussing Powerless by Lauren Roberts.
Yes, we will be discussing Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Very exciting. Good book. I'll read the blurb. Also found out that this is going to be a trilogy, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I saw that as I was looking at the Goodreads.
Alright, she is the very thing he has spent his whole life hunting. He is the very thing she spent her whole life pretending to be. Only the extraordinary belong in the kingdom of Ilya, the exceptional, the empowered, the elites. The powers these elites have possessed for decades were graciously gifted to them by the plague, though not all were fortunate enough to both survive the sickness and reap the reward. Those born ordinary are just that, ordinary. And when the king decreed that all ordinaries be banished in order to preserve his elite society, lacking an ability suddenly became a crime, making Payton Grey a felon by fate and a thief by necessity. Surviving in the slums as an ordinary is no simple task, and Payton knows this better than most. Having been trained by her father to be overly observant since she was a child, Payton poses as a psychic in the crowded city, blending in with the elites as best she can in order to stay alive and out of trouble. Easier said than done. When Payton unsuspectedly saves... No, it's okay. Yes, there's a spelling error in the blurb.
Oh, how awkward.
When Payton unsuspectedly saves one of Ilya's princes, she finds herself thrown into the purging trials. The brutal competition exists to showcase the elite's powers, the very thing Payton lacks. If the trials and the opponents within them don't kill her, the prince she's fighting feelings for certainly will if he discovers what she is, completely ordinary.
Love it, love it. Thoughts, feelings,
Thoughts,
and
feelings,
emotions.
No, I want to eat my burger.
Okay, alright. Alright, my thoughts, feelings, and emotions. I had a fun time reading this, but not for the reasons that you think. All I saw was Hunger Games. The fun part was trying to see how far Lauren could detach Hunger Games from this, or this from the Hunger Games, like all the differences. Yeah, that's all I could think about. You know, even in the first trial, the arena was a forest setting. Like, come on. Obviously also inspired by Harry Potter, perhaps. Goblet of Fire, The Maze-esque. I forget going into this that it was more of a YA aspect because the main characters are around 18, 19, but that's just my fault. But I enjoyed it nonetheless. Very delicious plot twist at the end. Did not see that coming. I enjoy that sort of setup. We know how I feel about love triangles between siblings and a mutual person. Wasn't a big fan, but again, that's just me. I loved learning about all the different powers and all the social hierarchy of everything in this land. And really enjoyed the purge plague, the plague aspect to it all and how that sort of becomes a divine happening and that everyone believes in. So it was really cool.
I too enjoyed it for the Hunger Games-esque. However...
Say it with your chest, Mackenzie.
Say it with my whole chest. I think in books, there's a difference between, like, paying homage to something and then blatantly just, like, picking something up, moving it across, and plopping it down.
Like a copy-paste.
I don't know. Yeah, copy-paste. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just a little underwhelmed. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the story, but I was like, oh, I feel like I'm just reading The Hunger Games, but in a fantasy world.
Yeah. Hunger Games with magic.
Yeah, like, especially even the, like, they come and get you and you get to live, like, in the palace. You get to live and eat and do whatever you want before the trials or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's broadcast to everyone.
Yeah, I get that. Instead of cameras in the arena, you have the sites who have the ability to literally capture and then project what they see. Like, they're a living camera. And even Adina herself, being the seamstress, like, she is Senna?
Yeah.
Senna.
Like the stylist.
The stylist, reincarnate. It's like, all you can see.
And then, like, oh, everyone's meant to wear green, but then she wears red or black or whatever, or silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, like, we get it, Mockingjay.
Yeah, the silver savior.
Yeah.
Yeah, although what annoyed me now that you brought that up is, like, there was so much emphasis on her having to just fit in, play the part, but then she makes the most outlandish statements through her costumes and just through her opinions and attitudes, which is great because it's who she is. But if you're constantly in a monologuing, I gotta play the part, you know, you gotta do what it takes to survive, then don't make such a grandiose statement like that. But I suppose having future king as kind of your date in this process, you know, you kind of gotta make him look good as well.
But then also, like, I just didn't believe in the love triangle.
Oh, me neither. No.
Because it's like, okay, she clearly has feelings for, what's his name?
The disrespect. Kai?
I knew it was something like that. Thank you. I've read too many books these last 3
Have you
few
secretly DNF'd and not told me?
No, I read it all. I just forgot his name. Yes, like, she clearly has feelings for Kai. She isn't saying, but they're acting upon.
Mm-hmm.
But then she's like, oh, but I need to get close to him to find out the secrets. What's the other one's name?
Kit.
Kit. I knew one of them was Kit.
Okay. Too many names are too familiar as well, because we've got Amira,
exactly.
and then we've got a Kit, and we've got...
So then she's got to get close to Kit to, like, get the key and stuff, and it's like, she just wasn't playing it well. I don't know, like, at least in the Hunger Games, Katniss is out there kissing both of them.
Yeah. I think Katniss was also not really playing into the romance, even though it was Peter's role, and she did have that conflicting feelings for Gale as well, but yeah, I didn't really believe the love aspect in any of this between these two.
And then, the king saw right through her.
And obviously that wasn't revealed till the end as well, which is kind of frustrating, because then where's her sense of maybe even danger trying to be... To be fair, I don't think she even wanted to be a part of it in the first place. She just got plucked because she saved Kai.
No, she got voted by the people to be in the trials.
Yeah, so, like, it really is not her fault. It's not her fault. And then she just got weaseled into the resistance, which again is not her fault, but because it was her father's dream, like, she feels compelled to be a part of it.
Do you think... Because Lenny, which I remember his name because he was important to me.
He was important to you. Lenny deserves better.
Yeah, because he was calling her princess, and I was like, okay, there's something here.
Yeah.
But I was like, you've given it away way too early.
For sure.
We have, like, no backstory on her except that her dad died by order of the king, and he trained her to pretend that she was psychic.
Yeah.
But we know really nothing else about her backstory, and here you are being like, oh, you're a lost princess.
And Mother's fucked off somewhere. Or is she dead? I forget.
I think she's dead. No, she died in childbirth.
Oh, that's right. Yep, that's right. She recalls her and Kit having that similarity as well. I didn't like the princess talk straight away. I just found it, like, unnecessary and maybe too tropey. Because, like, it didn't have to happen. And yeah, you're giving it away. Because, like, almost every interaction since meeting the resistance, it's, hey, princess, oh, you look like a princess, or whatever. And it just got a little bit annoying too quickly.
Like, I wish, like, I don't know, Lenny could have alluded to it in one of those resistant meetings, something being like, you're too important to lose, or whatever, or, like, in these trials, so blah, 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 blah. And then I wanted her to be like, what do you mean? And then I wanted someone to be like, Lenny, like, it's too soon, or whatever, like, or... I wanted them to be able to help her somehow.
Maybe.
In the trials. They were just like, good luck.
But, like, being the daughter to an ex-leader, like, she should be entitled to this information regardless.
But, like, I just think if they're going down the path that I think they're going down.
Yeah, royalty, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Then it needed to be played a bit more casually.
Yeah, I don't know. Romance wasn't too convincing. A lot of overused banter, I feel, over the same jokes. It's like, oh, you're going to stab me again? Very a la Castile. Always mentioning the dimples. Vicious little thing. Too many times. Just aimless threats. It's like, she tries so hard to tell herself to play the part, and she didn't play it that well, to be honest.
And I have a qualm.
You have a qualm?
In the book, the font for the chapter.
Oh, yeah.
For ages, during the first chapter, I didn't know what her name was until someone said it because I couldn't freaking read the font.
Yeah.
And then same for Kai. I was like, I don't know what your name is.
Yeah, for Kai or Kit, sometimes the letter card looked like a P or a K, or not even a K, a W, and it was so hard to pinpoint what it said.
Yeah.
There was one chapter where Kai and Peyton have a bit of a cuddle for the night. Like, the next chapter was, the first word was B, but it looked like a W. And so it was like, we, and then the whole sentence almost didn't make sense. And also, like, the placards or the notes for the trials and the poem or the riddle or whatever, like, that was maybe just on the Kindle, it just was very, really difficult to read. And I already had the size enhanced.
I listened beyond, like, I read the first 2 chapters and then I listened, so I didn't read the notes or whatever, but yeah, I can imagine how.
Yeah, that was a little bit tricky. And I had the font, like, super up, because I've become one of those people now. I used to be a snob and not have my text font so large, and now I've joined the people. I'm one of you now. And I feel like I read faster because you just tap away. Whatever. It was interesting, but yeah, it was just a lot of Hunger Games mixed with a touch of originality and chaos ensues. But I'm a sucker for these types of books where the narrative is driven forward by like a competition of sorts, a trial, a game.
I like it because it's a good way of showing time passing.
For sure, yeah, because they're doing
Whereas
something.
in other books, when you have like adventures and stuff, and then you find out it's been 2 days, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Whereas it's just like, okay, I know that every 3 weeks or whatever there's a trial.
And then you see the characters kind of develop in terms of their fighting style and just how they pick up on their opponents and how they create alliances and allegiances to other members, if any. And just you see them develop that way, whereas there are a lot of adventure books where it feels really stagnant because not a lot is happening, but then you don't want to have an encounter like every time they go to bed. Otherwise, it's very D&D style, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's hard to balance it out that way. But yes, I'm a sucker for the characters having something to work towards, something is coming, like they have days or a week to prepare and stuff like that. And it was nicely structured in that after Peyton gets picked for the trials, it's like ball, trial, a little bit of fluffing about, and then ball, trial, fluffing about, story progresses. I really liked that structure.
I felt though that some of the characters were very OP.
Oh, for sure.
And I don't know if I understand that as being part of the plot and stuff, but it just felt a little unbelievable.
Okay, in what way?
Like, I can understand, like, a power being enhanced strength, or
Like
maybe...
like sounds, like what Lenny does?
Yeah, like enhanced hearing, like just enhanced whatever. But then having Ace be able to make duplicates of himself.
Yeah.
Or then, oh my god, what is her name? Andy make herself into any animal.
Shifting, yeah.
Yeah, shifting, and then Blair telekinesis. I don't know, I thought that it would have been more interesting if they were kind of strictly combat powers.
Oh.
So, like, yeah, you have increased strength, or you have your, like, in House of Night, your arrow hits its mark every time, but you have to have the right intention, or, like, yeah, you can, like, you're able to, like, you have good foraging skills, like, you're able to know what direction, like, water is in, or...
Yeah. I feel like that's just the part of the society and part of being an elite in this kingdom is that you got to have those
but
offensive
it's just, I just couldn't believe, I couldn't suspend my disbelief in that Peyton with no powers was holding her own against all these, like, elite powers.
Elite, yeah. I suppose, again, the social hierarchy of the elites where, I wasn't expecting there to be such a distinct hierarchy because I thought an elite is an elite. You have a power, you are excelling in society. But yeah, there's another tier to that, which is like obviously the mundane, which is the lesser sort of abilities, which obviously what Peyton's been parading as. I agree with you that a lot of them were offensive based and combat based. It would have been nice to have at least one or two people have what you just suggested and be able to still be considered a strong integral part of the elite system. But yeah, I thought, because we learn of the Fatals, which is like a bunch of powers that are considered OP in this world. They're controllers, mind readers, silencers. I don't know if there's another. But I would have thought Kai's power, being a wielder, is that not as well OP in its own right? Yeah. He can just like sense the powers around him
and take it
to then be able to and just use it. Like, is that not, should that not be illegal? But because he's the king's son, it probably is allowed. And that the king is only allowed to have one silencer, mind reader, controller within his inner circle as well seems a little, I don't know. I suppose it has to happen to keep the balance.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bit far-fetched that Peyton was able to parade as a sidekick for so long. And that even towards like the back end or the middle, I would have liked someone to have been like, I know you've been lying.
Yeah.
Or when Kai was like, you tap your left foot when you lie, I thought he was going to bring that up if she was going to tell him. Oh, no, I guess that's telling the truth though. If she is able to, okay, never mind. But like, surely maybe someone could have figured something out and put her in that slight bit more danger, perhaps.
Or I wanted, and it would probably actually no, because he already knows that she's an ordinary now or whatever. But I wanted that to be like a conversation between the two of them, because then it would have caused him conflict. I wanted the turmoil and the angst of him fighting against, well, I love her, but everything in my being is telling me that I need to banish her or I need to kill her. And I hated he's like, I don't kill kids.
Oh, okay,
but then it's like, you take them out to the desert and you tell them to walk, essentially, like you're banished. Yeah. It's like, and then he justifies it. He's in a monologue. He's like, oh, I know they're going to die anyway, but at least like it's not by my hand. And it's like, I would rather a quick death by your hand than to be wandering in the desert looking for food and water.
What a weak enforcer to be.
Yeah. But maybe all these banished people will come back and like they have a secret outcrop or something where they all go and they'll be the resistance. Maybe.
Or there'll be a catalyst in the second or third book, and they'll be summoned from the Scorchers by Payton or whoever is in charge, but then they'll look to Kai and be like, this man saved our lives, we will bow to him, you know? No, but here's my thing about Kai's introduction to this book. Heavy emphasis on him becoming an enforcer and him torturing people and killing people is his absolute specialty. We get it, blah, blah, blah. He's a violent person. You get all that. He's killed many people before, blah, blah, blah. But then as soon as a little itty-bitty child comes along, you're free, you know? It's like, I hate that emphasis. And even just throughout the book, he'll have those moments where, you know, he's been torturing the Silencer or he's, you know, being violence training or whatever and then he just comes undone when he sees Payton. It's like, is this girl really impacting you right now? All this emphasis and for why?
Tiny, malnourished psychic.
Yeah. Hey, at least she can read.
This is true.
I really enjoyed learning about the history as to how, you know, the folks with magic came to be as like almost like a gift from surviving this devastating plague. I did find that the king being able to convince society that the ordinaries are like disease-stricken humans in general, I found that very weak. Because, and then the whole argument of Payton and the resistance being like, we have no proof that we haven't been causing sickness amongst the elites. I just thought that was really bizarre and a bit too far-fetched. I didn't really believe in that. Yeah. Because then Payton could have been like, I've been ordinary the entire time and you assholes are fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that not proof enough?
For sure. I was going to say, what did you think about Kit's first kill? Because, of course, that was coming.
Kit's first kill? Yeah. Who did Kit kill?
Her dad.
You mean Kai?
Oh my god.
Kenzie.
I've been thinking too much about ruthless vows, so that's why I'm thinking of Kit.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that coming, if I'm going to be completely honest.
I did.
But it was very weird how, the king was never really confirmed to have killed her father, and she had such outlandish statements being like, you killed him, you stabbed him, blah, blah, blah. And even when she was talking to Callum when she first met the Resistance, and he was kind of confused by her statement, I was like, of course the king never really did it, but I didn't really expect it to be Kai.
Because, I always knew that, like, obviously, no, it wasn't the king, like, it was the king's orders. But then I don't know, I was like, I don't know how else this could be shocking unless it was Kai, so... But then I was like, I want to know why he did it. Like, it couldn't have just been that he was the leader of the resistance. Like, Payton has to be something special, and I think, like, she has to do something to, like, unlock her power. And then, because I reckon he was ordered to kill Payton and her father. But he was like, I don't kill kids. Even though he was being a kid at that time.
And because her father was a healer as well, and she would often describe how the healers... the magic healers, I assume, would lead, like, you know, pink scars after healing. So, like, he had to have had magic. So how did she not have magic?
Exactly, yeah.
So, maybe her power just hasn't truly manifested yet, in a way.
But then I think it was...
Maybe she is psychic.
No, I don't... No, she can't just be psychic. She's got to be something else. I don't think it was, like, a genetics thing. I think it was just you got sick and then it picked and chose who it wanted to give magic powers to.
Okay, because he did die of the plague. No, he didn't die of the plague. He was sick for a while from the plague. At some point in time, I'm pretty sure. So we've got a divination aspect happening here, because how does a plague cause this? A whole magic outburst.
I think the plague... Okay, here we go, conspiracy. I reckon the plague is a cover.
Okay.
It's a bio weapon that was released. Like COVID.
Like COVID. Oh my god, Kenzie. What a huge allegation to say out loud.
I'll say it with my whole chest. You want me to say this? I think that COVID was a disease that was made in a lab and being tested on animals, and I think that when they disposed of those animals,
it ended up
in the wet market. Boom. I don't think that's too far-fetched.
That's irresponsible disposal.
Oh well.
You know what? My conspiracy theory is that Guy Sebastian was
Guy Sebastian
for Australia. And with that, we're moving on.
Okay.
I don't want to get censored, or I don't want to be put on a watch list or something.
I'm already on a watch list from Help, I'm Attracted to a Ghost.
Yep. For sure. Yeah, this plague. I feel like either it's just to make it the story really different, or if there's a divine aspect to it, or if it was somehow created. Very interesting nonetheless.
Oh my god, what if they are siblings?
See, I had that thought through my mind, because if she is a princess, and we know inherently in our real world the royals are all in a way related, they're all cousins at least, like, it could be possible. Yeah. Maybe that's why she's not leaning too into the romance.
I don't think she'd know. I don't know, or maybe, I don't know. Okay, maybe that's too far-fetched. I don't know. There's something. There's something.
There has to be, because who is leading the Scorchers?
Maybe they're cousins. Maybe her dad was the king's brother or something. And he's like, disagreed with the king's views on the magics. So the king was like, fuck you, you can leave.
See, I wouldn't mind that. I think, if I remember correctly, the description of the land, it's all shaped like a diamond, and then each area is its own almost elemental weather situation. And if Ilion is controlled by a leadership, like a monarchy, who is leading, like, what is established everywhere else? Could she be related to someone who is leading the Scorchers community or elsewhere? We don't know. There's probably, more monarchies perhaps out there. Or there could be more of a communist society. Who knows?
Scorchers remind me of Maze Runner.
yeah, for sure. See, there's that element to it as well with the whole maze thing. I'm a sucker for a maze, though.
Also, in the maze, this is another qualm I have. In the maze, it was, you have to go into the maze, you have to find your way into the middle, and then you have to kill whoever's in the middle. They'll be a criminal. First of all, I thought that Payton was going to be in the middle, and Kai was going to have to kill Payton, or whatever. Why did they kill off Adina?
We will find that out in the next book, I assume.
Like, it was just for no reason. And the king was like...
She must have been a secret spy.
Well, the king was just like, you brought your little friend in, blah, blah, that was very clever of you. It's like, okay, you could have just taken her back to the slums. Like, what is up with kings and just killing people?
Men. I think maybe it could be used to punish Payton, because he knew she was probably never going to be able to do it, and therefore she wouldn't win. Therefore Kai would win, but unfortunately Blair won. Yeah, I reckon it's more to punish Payton, unless there are things about Adina that we don't know about.
Yeah, I reckon she was part of the resistance. And she was like, I think she was Payton's keeper.
Her fate.
Well, not her fate, but just the resistance.
Yeah, someone to push her along. Because I think when Payton was talking about how they met, I think she found her. Or they just somehow found each other, and that had to not have been a coincidence. And they survived together, they're essentially sisters.
They live in their cardboard fort.
They live in their slummed out fort. I love it though. It builds character. I actually enjoyed the beginning when Payton was talking about how she picks her targets and her thieving, because oftentimes you get a lot of talk about how they're such a good thief, but you don't see it too often. But she was out there hustling and grinding, making ends meet. And Adina was like, I want my fucking fabrics, please. And just the general notice of, there are more guards out and about because Adina wants her fucking silks. I like the structure. I did enjoy it, but yeah, it was just Hunger Games. That's all I could think about. And then it was just the game of figuring out how detached could she get without me trying to figure things out, but it was too easy.
I didn't like the character of Blair at all.
Blair, she was giving Clove vibes.
Yeah, I just thought, like, she didn't have any substance to her. It was just that, I'm jealous because Kai and Kit both like you and they don't like me. It's like, can we stop using this narrative of women against women.
And Blair just was written in a way where she had such a sour attitude and very, I hate to say it, but bitchy about everything, and she was very overly confident in her ability to try and, in a way, seduce Kit and Kai. It's like, she's trying so hard, but obviously they're not interested, and at that point you just kind of back off and take the L.
I'd like to see,
but she obviously didn't do
either
that.
less, women against women for boys' attention, or just showing a woman accept rejection gracefully.
Yeah, just have Kai or Kit be like, Blair, we're not interested in you, please leave us alone. Or at least, I suppose it's difficult because it's been described that they all kind of know each other and grew up around each other.
She's had years of rejection. It's like, accept it.
Where's the magical power of common sense? Where did that go? I was very worried when it was revealed that Jax is involved amongst the trials, because you learn pretty early that he's related to Kit and Kai.
They adopted him, sort of.
It was a cute story. It's a very sweet and compassionate story that they took him in. But the fact that he was also put into the trials, again, it's giving Hunger Games where, although the intent of the trials is not to actually kill purposefully, like if you die, stiff shit. But it was always very worried for Jax, because you being the little brother, and of course we do have that moment where Ace manipulates, I guess, Kai into killing him, and then Kai being upset about that, which is fair enough.
Kai heals him, so it's fine. That's the thing, like, I felt like there was no stakes. Because I was like, I would have liked to have seen Jax die. Because I think it would have been a good emotional crux for Kai to either be like, well, now I need to start taking this seriously, or battling with, if I hadn't been so focused on Peyton, then I could have saved him, or like things like that, or I've been training for this, I should have known it was Ace. I don't know, there should have been something. I think it could have really been used as a like intentional plot device to move forward in Kai's inner turmoil.
Of course. Yeah, I agree with that, because I was hell-bent on him being dead. Like, I was happy to accept him.
Yeah, I was like, we don't really know much about him. He's adopted a Labrador.
All adoptees deserve to die, is all I heard from that. No. I would have liked a bit more grit in that regard as well, because, though there are lots of passages of violence and all the contestants beating each other up and fighting, etc., I would have liked... It's weird to say, because considering other contestants actually died, but it would have been, held a bit more weight if Jax died, because, it would help with that inner turmoil, and maybe even making Kai think, well, maybe the purging trials are actually not that beneficial, because why are we allowing even our greatest elites to have the opportunity to die anyway? Because even though they might be weaker amongst their group, perhaps, but in terms of the whole society and community structure, like, they're still higher up in terms of power.
I also really enjoyed between the trials where they have the time with each other, or the balls, and they have to act civilized and not kill each other.
Everyone's all grumpy and the tensions are high. Although within this, of course, there was a lot of kind of exposition dumping, whether it be between Peyton and Kai, or Peyton and Kit, or Peyton and the Resistance. Sometimes I felt it just droned on a little bit too long. Yeah. At times, especially if it was between Peyton and Kai, because it would just, again, reuse the same jokes. Oh, you're not being a gentleman, or you're being too much of a gentleman, or I'm gonna stab you.
Yeah, again, sometimes it's like, I don't need to be bogged down in the details. Like, just give me the narrative.
Like, we can progress their relationship in other ways. Like, I did like it when they were dancing and asking the question. I thought it was a little bit corny, but if it's a way to get the characters to talk, then so be it. And then revealing things about each other and being vulnerable, like, it was sweet. And I don't even know who Peyton even likes at this point. Like, does she like Kit, or does she like Kai? She was willing to, or happy to kiss Kai in the future, but
and I think I didn't know. I was like, is this genuine feelings, or are you just playing them, or...
Because, there was a lot of emphasis on them distracting each other, I guess, from being a part of the trials. They're having these shared little moments as well. And I think even Peyton admits that she took it a step too far when they were doing the archery thing, and she was like phantom touching, but then actually touching him, caressing him.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh well, that he's obviously got the lovey-dovey idea because of those moments. And I mean, if you know that that's gonna happen, then don't do it.
Yeah.
But they need to build the tension elsewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, there was a lot of tension. I was waiting for them to smooch, or at least her and Kit to smooch at some point.
Yeah.
I was actually battling in my mind who was she going to kiss first.
Yeah.
And it turns out there was like a small, softest kiss.
Yeah. Barely a whisper. I love the, it's always barely a whisper against my lips. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Or a feather or something.
Yeah.
Something so delicate and soft.
Yeah.
So the trials were pretty much, the first one was like a forest setting where they essentially capture the armbands of the other contestants.
Capture the flag, yeah, but armbands.
Yeah, love that. It was essentially a small rendition of Capture the Flag. First Hunger Games, the forest setting, the healing each other, Kai and Peyton and their little alliance. And they killed Sadie, who had a bunch of clones or something.
Yeah.
A lot of, one-on-one encounters with other contestants and highlighting their own abilities as well. Second trial was a teamwork trial, after having a bit of a one-on-one brawl the night before.
Yeah, being forced to brawl.
See, at this point, I thought it's Kit that's designed this trials, because everyone's saying it's so different.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's different because he's the one that's...
Because I think, previously, in previous years, it's, been in that arena and everyone's been able to watch, like, in the bowl. But, this year is the first time that they're kind of out in the environment. It's giving very a la Ballad of Songbird and Snakes.
Oh, okay.
Because they were in the arena and then it moved to, like, outside arenas. Yeah.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Have you not watched the film or read the book?
I have not watched the film yet. I have not read the book. I have the book. I haven't read it. Maybe we can do it for the potty.
We should. Add it to the list. Anyway, but yeah, so it was giving very a lot of that. But yeah, and they said it was because he was in it that it was different, because he had that, like, OP power.
And it's obviously because he's destined to become, and has been groomed to become, this high-level enforcer as well. Like, he needs to show off his capabilities, almost prove to the rest of the capital of his future. And but yeah, at that point, I thought Kit was the one that's organised it.
Oh.
I thought that would have been a bit interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think just before that as well, him and Peyton were having a conversation and they were talking about, like, what type of king he needs to be. He needs to, like, see his people. Or maybe she was trying to sift in that the ordinaries actually don't cause disease. And he was kind of not about that. And I don't know, I just had just the thought that somehow that made the idea of working together perhaps an influence for this decision to have that trial. But... And then the third trial was a magical moving maze. And then, of course, you had to kill a criminal at the end because we needed a bit more grit, apparently. And then, plot twist, the criminal, I guess, intended for Peyton, which never was truly expressed that she had to kill her. I would have assumed it was intended for her.
Well,
Adina.
She was the only one. See, I thought that they'd all have a criminal to kill. But I was the only one. And I just think it was the king being a little bitch. Because it was either you will have to kill her or you'll have to watch her be killed.
Yeah, for sure. But I just thought there was a criminal for everyone, so everyone had the opportunity for whoever got there first.
It was giving third trial under the mountain.
Yeah. Oh my god. Everything is happening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Too many influences. Nothing is original these days. We're exhausting our fantasy.
And I think, like, a big argument is that, you know, how far can you go with fantasy? It's all pretty much, you know, that you have the same kind of things. But again, like I said earlier, there's a difference between paying a homage and then just being like, arena, trials.
But add magic. Add OP magic. And of course, Blair is the one that kills Adina, I think with her telekinesis, with a branch or something. Yeah. Very a la Rue.
Brutal, yeah.
When they were watching back the other two trials, there was a special symbol to honour
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was the 3-finger salute, but it's like some index finger thing to make a diamond.
Yeah, because you make a diamond. It was like, I think it's like that, baby.
That is...
Yeah.
Oh, that's an ick. Saying that out loud, that's an ick.
Over your heart.
No, I can't do it.
It's like the millennial. What's the love heart that they do? Not the millennial, the Gen Z.
Yeah.
No, it's
like
it's like that one or whatever.
Oh, I don't know.
I can't do it.
I'm doing the standard Taylor Swift one, back in the day.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's fearless.
Yeah. Or this. It's like I don't know. Anyway, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's these two fingers and then those.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that was definitely the Mockingjay or the District 12 fallen salute.
Yeah.
Oh. And then, of course, as per the plan of the Resistance, they infiltrate this final trial and they essentially hold the king and the rest of the capital hostage. Obviously, Callum, the now main leader of the Resistance, who was also a mind reader, is all like having his resistance spiel.
Yeah.
And then chaos ensues because Kai was able to get suppress
it's
the
always
silencer.
the monologuing.
It's like just fucking either kill them or just say your speech and fuck off.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, even when the king and Peyton were fighting, like he was monologuing, it's like, bro, just kill her, just stab her.
And then of course Peyton kills the king, but it's all very much Luke and Darth Vader in the "you killed my father, no, I am your father," but it's "you killed my father, no, my son killed your father."
But could she have just killed her uncle right there?
Yeah.
We never know. We won't know.
Yeah.
No, but I loved how this is set up for the second book, though, because normally we have this sort of misunderstanding or cycle of violence that our main characters will reconcile over in a way, but this is hard to come back from. Like, they've both killed each other's fathers now. It's like, where do you go from here?
And how fast did Kit turn on her?
Yeah, that was quick. I mean,
she stole from him and she led in the resistance and now his father's dead. But also, like, he wanted that paid-in pussy. And most of the time, the pussy is more powerful than love. Than family, sorry.
God damn. Obviously, he felt really used, and which is his right, because she did exactly that. She used him for information about the tunnels, she stole the key, he doesn't believe their interactions anymore, he's gonna second-guess everything. Yeah, I would have turned on her too.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously that jealousy-esque with Kai and their relationship with Peyton too.
Yeah.
It's a big whole mess, and I loved that now Kit is sending Kai after her to try and kill her, or at least bring her back, because that's giving Fox and the Hound.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I could think about, I don't know, as well, towards the end there. But yeah, very interesting. There is no love yet, and I love that the romance, the tension was so strong, but then it's been fucking quashed, and I love it. Like, it's different, it's got a bit more grit in that aspect, and I am pumped. It's nice and different, and hopefully we indulge in the second book, and I think that comes out in June.
Yeah, I'm excited to read the
little ways.
book.
See where it goes. Let's see how far away from the Hunger Games we can get from the second book, at least. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I liked learning all the different powers as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Obviously, I had more crimes than previous books we've read this year, but that's okay.
It also didn't help that Peyton helped Kai have a bit of a look around in the loot, and that probably adds to their relationship that he's now...
To the resistance.
...hates her over. So now, the question is, where is Peyton going? Where is she running to? Alright, let's go to the Stars That Listen. Do you want to explain what that is?
Yes, the Stars That Listen is a segment that we do at the end of the podcast where we go to Goodreads and we find a 1-star review and a 5-star review, and if we like the book we usually fight with the 1-star review, and we start with the 1-star because we like to end on a positive note. I have 2 of each, so... Yeah, I have 2 1-stars, but it's in the same screenshot. Alright, the first one is... This book felt like somebody asked ChatGPT to rewrite The Hunger Games and then sold it on Temu. Jesus Christ.
And then within the same screenshot, almost DNF, new drinking game. Drink every time Peyton threatens to take a knife to Kai's throat. You'll be drunk within 10 pages. I mean, that's true. There was a lot of threats.
Yep. Mm-hmm. My 2 if I wanted to read The Hunger Games, I would have just picked that up.
Oh no.
And disappointing, this book was basically just an amalgamation of popular tropes, and the main character was a carbon copy of Katniss, but lacking any flaws whatsoever.
Ooh, I saw that as I was scouring through Goodreads. Alrighty. I realised that this is a 4-star, but we'll just bump it up to a 5-star anyway. The tension, the angst. Honestly, I really enjoyed this book and had so much fun reading it. This is definitely not high fantasy, which I can't do anyways. Very much had a simple plot, was simple to understand, and a fun plot twist at the end. Lovely.
Mine is, I genuinely have no words for this book. Every single second of the book I ate up. The writing was beautiful, the banter, the spice, with no actual spice, the tropes, the twists, everything was just so beautifully done. And then my other one is just help.
I saw the help. Help, 5 stars.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes for the second book, so keep an ear out for that. I'm sure we will devour it once it's released. Thank you everyone for listening. Check us out on the socials. Instagram is the main source, link in that bio. Find us in all the places, TikTok, YouTube, etc., etc. And next week we will be releasing... You want a good girl's guide to murder, I think?
Yep.
Cool. Keep an ear out for that. I'm so super keen because that has like a Netflix TV series in the works at this point in time.
Yes, it does.
So it'll be interesting to see if that is finished or released by the time we read and record. All right, thanks for listening. Catch us next week. All right, goodbye.
Bye.